So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I earned $17,319 on my taxes using AI or ChatGPT. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to do the same.
So, taxes, one of the things that everyone dreads in the middle of April, but this year in 2023, taxes are actually due on April 18th, 3 days later than the usual April 15th. So you have some time left. And we know that in the modern day with software, taxes have been made much easier to do with the help of such things as TurboTax. But are they understandable? No, not really. That's why now we're gonna make things even more understandable with the help of AI, with the help of ChatGPT. And I'll explain how you can leverage AI, leverage ChatGPT to help you with your own taxes as I do my own taxes today in this entire video. So it's really good to know that when AI is not trying to kill us, they're there to help us do our taxes. So with doing our taxes today, actually, I'm going to blast you this pretty quickly because we're gonna be using TurboTax, which makes things a lot easier for us. But we're gonna stop and pause at the parts which makes us stop and think and makes us confused. Now, I do have my own side businesses, but for the purposes of this video, today I'm just gonna be your average Donald who just has a job, who rents his place, who trades stock and crypto because I'm a degen, and who wants to maximize deductions and credits. Now, since I'm a college undergrad, I am pretty confident that I can do my own taxes, except when TurboTax is not available, and that the only financial changes that I had this year was being screwed by Celsius, and for you, you might have been screwed by FTX. So we're all in a year of being screwed. And now to make up for my losses in those bankruptcies, now I'm going to try to sell my arm and leg in the underground black market, trying to sell it off to some rich guy as some mystical Chinese medicine with anti-aging properties. So one of the things that TurboTax really likes to do is really get up in your business, because every single year they like to ask you what changes happened this year, like whether you sold or traded cryptocurrency, which I did because I was involved in the Luna collapse, which lost me around 3K, which I'll talk about later on in this video. And yes, my hurts. Sometimes TurboTax also likes to make things really ambiguous, like giving you an option of 1099K, which for most of us wonders what the heck is a 1099K, and that is a time when we want to use ChatGPT. So let's jump onto the computer and go to ChatGPT here and ask what is a 1099K, and you just pop that in, and it looks like 1099K is a tax form to report income received from payment card transactions like credit cards, debit cards, third-party payment processors like PayPal, Stripe, and other platforms. So you're basically using that when you're selling something like a merchant or anything. So for this one, we don't really have to worry about it. Now, if you were employed like most of us are, then filling out the W-2 part is as easy as just dropping your W-2 that you get from your company into TurboTax. One thing to note is this section, W, company contributions to your health savings account. And if you don't know what the health savings account is, then you should probably check out my last video that I made here. That's really important for you to go over that. And you should contribute to an HSA if you have one, because according to TurboTax, TurboTax itself has an AI. And the TurboTax AI tells us that they can be deductible and may even lower the amount of income you have to pay taxes on, which is great because we don't want to pay the government any more taxes than we have to. Now, what the heck is a 1099 SA, HSA, and MSA? Well, we gotta do what we do best and check ChatGPT. So in essence, the 1099 SA is used to report any medical related expenses that you paid using your HSA or your MSA.
Now, I don't have any self-employment income to report, but if you took advantage of the Moomoo platform for trading stocks, ETFs, and options, all without a commission, then I would have to report self-employment income, because using my referral link, you can get up to 15 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000 each if you use my referral link to sign up with Moomoo.
Alright, so now we report on the last section of our wages and income, and that is investments and savings, with the 1099B, the 1099 int, the 1099 div, the 1099K, and crypto. And if you don't know what all those stand for, well, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta ask ChatGPT. So what we'll do is we'll just ask that question to ChatGPT. And if you guys just want a summary and don't want to watch ChatGPT do its thing, 1099B is for the sale of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and things like that. 1099 int is for interest income. Think income earned from bank deposits, certificate of deposits. Dividend, 1099 div, is from dividends from mutual funds, stocks, and other investments. K is for, I think we already talked about this, and this is basically when you receive payment payment by doing business from Stripe or something, or PayPal. And crypto transactions is basically if you bought or sold crypto. So the real investments and savings that I had in 2022 was with crypto. So when you go into investments and savings in your TurboTax, you can actually go flash through these things. Did you have crypto income or losses in 2022? Yes. Was crypto sold, transferred between exchanges or wallets? No. Did you sell enough NFT? No. Did you receive a reward in form of crypto? No. So that's generally like what most people will have. Did you participate in DeFi or a DAO? Nope. So click continue, and you really click continue until you get to this page. Now we are doing this for crypto because that's the only asset that I played with, but if you had stocks or something and you use something like Charles Schwab or Robinhood, then you can easily just integrate with those platforms by clicking on these buttons. But here I'm going to enter a different way, and I'm going to click cryptocurrency because I use CoinLedger, which is a platform to help you generate your tax form. So what I did is basically here I imported my transactions from Coinbase, Gemini, and my own wallets, and basically I did a review and they generate the reports for you. You go to the tax filing software here and generate whatever report you're using. I already generated it for TurboTax and I clicked download, and this is basically how it looks like. They just give you a CSV with all the transactions that you did for the year. So after you got that said and done, you go to cryptocurrency, you go to continue, and then you're gonna upload it from my computer, and then you're going to click continue again. The crypto service that you're going to use here is other because we're using CoinLedger. If you're using CoinTracker, you can just use CoinTracker, but we're going to click other. We're going to put the name as CoinLedger. We're going to use the gain loss for 1099B, and we're going to click continue. After that, you see the box there. We're going to go to our downloads here and basically just drag and drop our form, and then it will start the import. After that, after the import, you'll get a page like this where you can review your transactions, your imports, and then you can basically review all your ledger sales. And if everything looks good to you, you can basically click continue, and then basically you'll be done. So one thing I want to touch on is that last year I lost $4,103.58 with crypto, right? And that's important to report because you can take that and do capital loss carryover. So basically every year you're allowed to take $3,000 of capital losses from your investment and deduct that from your taxes. And if you have anything over, that's just going to be carried on to the next year. So that's really important to do that. So you can see in TurboTax that you can have the ability to integrate with Coinbase and Gemini, two of the exchanges that I use. So why did I buy CoinLedger instead of using what's in TurboTax? Well, with CoinLedger, what you can do is you can actually do tax loss harvesting. What that basically means is that it will help you calculate the best moves you need to do to maximize your tax return strategy. And that's why I bought the use of CoinLedger. Now, TurboTax, I don't think does that, but if you want to do that, or if you have other accounts somewhere else, other than Coinbase and Gemini, like external wallets, and you need to track those, then CoinLedger or CoinTracker is the way to go. And you can get a 10% discount if you decide to use them using my referral link in the description below. So make sure you think about tax loss harvesting. It's another topic, that huge topic that we won't talk about in this video, but it's something to consider to maximize your tax returns for the next year. So after all that work, this is basically how my income looks like, and this next part that we're going to go into is my favorite part, deductions and credits, because this is the part where you can really maximize how much of a refund we get. And this part is where we're going to use ChatGPT to really maximize the returns that we're going to get from all the deductions we're going to make in this section. Now, the final details of my income look something like this. At this point, we're sitting at a federal refund of $3,663 and a state refund of $377, and we're going to boost this up a lot. Now, everyone should consider maxing out their HSA contributions because all contributions are tax deductible and can contribute to lowering the amount of tax you owe. HSA limits for 2022 for singles is $3,650 and it is $7,300 for families. And if you want to maximize your HSA, be sure to watch my other video on HSAs right after this one. So at the end of this, my HSA contribution really looked like this. Note that I only contributed $2,646. That is because my company contributed $1,004. If you add those two numbers up, it actually comes out to $3,650, which is the maximum contribution limit. So with charities, you actually get a charitable deduction on your taxes depending on your relationship status. So the best thing to do is go to Facebook and change your relationship status to single because that's the lowest tier. You only need to donate about $12,550 to get a big deduction off your taxes. I'm kidding. But to be frank with you, with charitable donations, it's meant to be done from the good of your heart, not to get deductions off your taxes. But you still get deductions off your taxes. Notice here that after maxing my HSA, my federal return now jumped to $4,242 and my state return jumped to $529. Not bad. But as a single as I am, you have to donate up to $12,550 in order to get any sort of deductions. $6,000 of donations to the church just doesn't cut it. And if I donated $12,550, that would push my federal return to $5,302 and my state return to $791. So with respect to traditional and Roth IRAs, I'm not a big fan of traditional because it's pre-tax. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of that because that is a big subject and deserves a video on its own. But the max contribution limits for both traditional and Roth IRAs are $6,000 for an individual, and that's $6,000 for individuals under 50, and if you're over 50, it's $7,000. And if you make over a certain amount of money, you're not even allowed to deduct from your traditional IRA contributions. So for this, we'll leave at 0.
So this part we're going to talk about property taxes, and this is going to be experimental because I frankly don't own a property. I rent, and I also write off my taxes on my rent. So this entire part is experimental, but what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I looked for a 3-bedroom house in Fairfax, Virginia, where I live. And the average price for a 3-bedroom in Fairfax, Virginia is about $610,000. And so the property tax for that is about $6,100 per year. Yeah, I know, it is expensive as F. That is why, for me, I am moving to Texas next year. So all you Texans, give your boy a holler. But plugging that into our deductions would give us a Fed return of $6,358 and a state return of $1,142.
So with mortgage interest, again, we're going to use a hypothetical example here because your boy here is a gypsy.
Suits my clothes.
Very nice. How much?
I asked ChatGPT that if I took out a $500K mortgage loan with the current interest rate of 6.156%, what is my monthly payment going to be? And this is how ChatGPT responded. It gave me $3,165.87. Annually, that's $37,990.44. So if I got that loan recently, after the first year, my outstanding principal is going to be $491,013.78. Imagine that. You basically paid $38,000 and $9,000 of that basically went to principal. That means that $29,000 went down the interest rate. But after all that, now we get the following tax breaks, and our Fed return now is $13,993, and our state is $3,326. So all in total, that's $17,319.
Now, a lot of this was experimental in the deductions and credits, especially when it comes with regard to the property and the mortgage interest, because I don't own a home. But it's typically what the average person will go through based on how GPT responded with our questions. Now, if you made it to the end of this video here, that basically means that you live in the US like me. But oftentimes, I get the same kind of refund without owning a home. How? Well, because with the rent I pay, I actually get to write that off because I own a side business. With the side business, you get to write off such things as home office expense. So using the simplified version, basically if you have 300 square foot, you can use that 300 square foot as a home office deduction. And using the simplified method, you can write off $5 for each square foot. That means that you can basically write off $1,500 as an expense in your taxes with the home office deduction. And that's just one part of it. There's a lot of other expenses and deductions you can make if only you have a side hustle or a side business. That's why I encourage that if you're living in the US, take advantage and start a side business or a side hustle. I mean, on top of all that, when you go travel, when you live in hotels, take flights, take trains, take Ubers, do DoorDash, all of that are expenses that you can write off with a side business. That's why I really encourage it. And if you want the ins and outs of how that works and another video like this, make sure you smash that like button, that subscribe button, and write down in the comments, I want the biz write-off. That'll give me a hint that you guys actually want to see content like that. So I hope I gave you guys an idea about how to earn $17,319 on your taxes by using ChatGPT. And I guess I really can't say how I earned, and that this video was kind of clickbait. But please don't do what I did in this video by using ChatGPT to give you some fake numbers to put in your tax return, because that is actually fraud and the IRS does not like that. Other than that, guys, none of this is tax advice. Make sure you consult an actual tax professional when it comes to doing your taxes if you have any questions. And remember, guys, don't forget to take advantage of the free money by signing up with Moomoo, and don't forget to watch my next video on maximization strategies with your HSA, because that is a huge part of having a bigger tax deduction and getting a bigger tax refund on your next taxes next year.